All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Introduction to Communism. This will be, I believe, part 3 or 4. I can't remember now. Don't forget your lecture notes are in your reading packet, and you can follow along. This is, of course, Marxism, Murder, and Terror with Dr. John Tyler's PowerPoint. And just to note, Dr. John Tyler is he is not only a PhD in philosophy, but he's a lawyer as well, and so he's examining the Russian Revolution from a legal standpoint as significantly here. So the question we're going to explore in this video is question number 3: what power structure enabled the Soviet government to terrorize and murder 20 million Russians? So once again, it's not 100 million. That's all the citizens under under communist governments in the 20th century. This is 20 million. What power structures enabled them to do this? So there's 3 answers to this. Unrestricted power of rulers. So first, give rulers unrestricted power. Second, make sure no individuals have individual rights, including no private property. And then the third one is transform the law and the courts into instruments of terror. And we're going to see how he does that. So the first one, unrestricted power of rulers, Lenin became a dictator, and intentionally so. He defined dictatorship as power that is limited by nothing, by no laws, that are restrained by absolutely no rules, that rest directly on coercion. It's wild. And then Lenin centralized and organized violence is necessary. So he prescribed organized violence against the ruling class, against the workers, and against the masses. So this is not merely the Marxist approach of crushing the bourgeois. No, he actually had to crush everybody, anybody who stood in his way. That's what's going on here. In order to enact true Marxism, it wasn't just crushing the bourgeois. All right. Unrestricted power of rulers. Still, Lenin destroyed the Russian legal system on November 22nd. First, he removed all legal protection from the Russian people. This allowed Lenin then to establish unlimited dictatorship, and then he imposed mass terror through the new legal system. So he abolishes lawyers and judges, he abolishes the existing laws, and then he abolishes the existing courts. So all the legal apparatus that we're used to, he abolishes all of those things so that he can then set up his own terror system. Lenin establishes new courts called the revolutionary tribunals. And he makes sure to put in people who are not lawyers. So the only qualification for service is the ability to read and write. That's it. So new judges have no legal training. And by the way, you don't get any lawyers either to help defend you. No evidence is required for conviction. No illegal action is required is required for conviction. So normally due process has 3 elements in our system, and in generally any system. You have notice of charges, fair trial, and impartial tribunal. Well, they do give you notice of charges, but you do not have a fair trial or an impartial tribunal. In fact, this is crazy. On December 10, 1934, the Kurov Amendments, he gives, these are a 1-day notice. You have 1 day, and then you are to appear in court, and then the execution of those notices are to be carried out immediately. Most of the time, it was a death sentence immediately. So this is what Lenin is doing. The court shall not do away with terrorism. To promise such a thing would be to cheat ourselves and our people. So he is a dictator, and he's setting up the courts to help